So I don't really know what I'm doing with my art, but this is like my recent outline. So it's basically an old cartoonish, fashionish style art. Which I'm trying to create um, as an original kind of item. The whole idea is there, but it's not going to be perfect. It's just an idea. I haven't even really put hair on it, but the idea is to simplify your object until you've got something that doesn't have a lot of body. But it's not so simplified as to announce only a portion of the object, and so it's a simplified trendy drawing basically. And I'm doing it on purpose so I can have a different kind of image being created, not quite cartoony style, not quite your original everyday kind of drawing, and not quite apart from it. So it's a mixture of things. And I'm not sure about the full arms though. I think the full arms, maybe it shouldn't be full at all because they seem a bit out of place. Maybe I should do stick arms. But that's the fun with making artwork. You have no idea what is going to appeal. And the more you put down, or in some cases the less you put down, the better. So I'm going to do the full arms just in case. I mean, it looks a little quirky, but so does everything that I do. Not the first for me to create something a little quirky, but the idea of this whole entire creation is quirkiness, so that you have something original. So sometimes you can really make a stand with stuff like this. So I just realized the cigarette was in the wrong place. It's on the wrist instead of on the fingers. So I'm gonna just shove the cigarette up there. It's not really doing anything much. Same with this one. I'll just put a couple of fingers there, so it makes it a little better. But this isn't gonna be any great artwork. I mean, it's just an idea. I'm always coming up with ideas of what could make original artwork, not necessarily what would make great artwork. Like I was just off on that last line. It's like it went all over the place. And yet, that's sort of like the idea of things. Like I wanted something kind of original, kind of almost not silhouette-y, but like an old 1960s kind of drawing, but it's not really 1960s style. Otherwise I would probably do a lot of other things and not have it look like that. But essentially, I mean, you can see like the fact that it's a simplified cartoonish drawing. I mean, the head and the hat come off the best. All the rest is just like original mumbo jumbo, where you're not really sure what it's doing. So I'm now going to branch off and actually color it in. So I would essentially be great doing this in watercolor or something, but I'm going to do it in crayon instead, just to, I don't know, just to make a difference. No, just because I feel like it. I think crayon's pretty versatile, but I think I'm going to have to move to another desk so that I don't dirty up my sheets. So I'm not really that keen on getting my whole face in there, so I'm going to start with this and see how it goes. So of course I could do pastels, but I'm not sure. So I'm just going to do little bit by little bit a little bit of shading with a crayon. So essentially you're doing a drawing and you just do it little bit at a time. I have no idea how this is gonna work out. Because I don't generally do crayons. In fact, I'm already wanting to switch to pastels. It's looking kind of crummy, but whatever, just go with the flow and see how this goes. Yeah, I essentially don't do a lot of crayon work. And there's a reason for that. It looks silly. It looks kind of silly. So, obviously I'll probably want to dip some paint on here and make it a little more fulfilling. Either that I can switch to pastels. Pastels come off as a little better than crayons. I don't know. So essentially, I'll just stick with the crayons for now. If I really hate it, I'll just paint over it with a different kind of color. With some paint. So nothing has to be perfect. I mean, this is just an experimental whatever's, and I like to experiment. But I don't have much of a knack with varied colors. So I just don't have a knack with crayons because I like as if I use crayons often. So they don't fill in gaps. You're left with a kind of a half empty tray of. Oh, now I'm in deep. I just used the wrong color, so I'll do a brighter orange. And I'm gonna have to do the face and the backdrop, everything. So look out with the white. Yep, I've done some white. Not like it does much. White doesn't do anything at all. Alright, and now I get to do, I don't know, a pink backdrop? Something or other, anyways. So, before you say I don't really try with my art, it's just experimental. So, and anyone can say it's experimental. Probably nothing to really balk about. I like to experiment with art. I don't like to create bona fide art pieces because you just don't know. You might be on the ball with something more experimental. So, but I feel like this is so boring. Actually, plain. And then, if you find it really boring, you just mess everything up. It's like, I don't care. You just, do whatever you like. You don't have to keep to plain and boring. Block colors. Simple, you can do heaps of stuff. I wouldn't draw extra black lines though. I wouldn't do that. But say with the feather, you can mingle other colors, over the top of this crayon. You can mingle other colors to make it more vibrant and exciting. It's really up to you. Technically, you can do things darker so that they're more alluring. Like at the moment, I just really feel like I scraped the surface. I've just got something kind of simple, so I might just, go crazy on the coloring and be like, well, that's not good enough, so I'm going to get some brown. I'm going to do the feather with a bit of brown around it. Alright, so I've got some brown there. And then I'm going to go crazier and muck it all up. So this is kind of ordinary, sort of makes sense. Yeah. Let's do something fun. Let's do different lines and just mess it up, because nothing plain and boring is necessarily the thing. So I got some red. Red's doing something kind of fantastic there. And I might do some purple. Do purple. Go crazy. Why not? Why not? If you just don't go crazy, you'll never know how crazy your artwork can get. See, it looks a little different now. It's got more things, and so let's do. I don't know. Should I do greens or should I do blues? I'll do blues. I'll cross hatch it. You've got it going one way. Let's go the other way now. So yeah, that's crazier still. So you just don't know what this pen is doing now. You thought you had the perfect picture, and now it's like, I didn't have the perfect picture at all. So now it looks like that. And now we go to the clothing. You think the clothing was done? You can totally mess this up. You just do little bits of pink one way. You don't have to stay in any rules. You can put knots and crosses, whatever to get a bit of variation. You can do browns. Let's do horizontal browns. Who knows what I'm doing with that kind of brown, but it's doing something. I'm not doing black, so do some red, horizontal red. So now you got the crazy stuff happening, where everything looks swept with different things. And what about that crazy hat up the top? I think a bit of yellow stripes would be good. And you got some red berries around it, yeah. Forgot to do them red. And you think they're red, but then you get some pink and draw some lines through the berries. So, and then I'm going to do pink circles on the background, even though my first layering on the background was pink. Why not? This is crazy land now. Is it looking any better? No idea. So the shoulder's a little bit bare, so I'm gonna put some purpley shoulders, purple. It's very checkered looking, so like I said, the more you put down the better. The only thing I'm not touching is the skin. Everything else can be messed up. So how's that looking now? Looking a bit different, a bit cool. See how many squiggles you want. So on the bodies, I can go crazier still, and do like we've done a crossway, so I might do diagonal one way with the purple, and then I might do a diagonal the other way with a red. I mean, you thought I was done with the clothing. Now look at it. Now look at it. It's got crazy cross hatches going now. So you thought the one-way direction was cool. And I've got plenty of other directions. So that in itself is a really weird drawing. I'm just going to put a little bit of red at the top of this thing that's supposed to be a cigarette. Because that will give off the idea that it is actually a bit of a fashionable cigarette. And now you've got something. It's a little crazy, a little kiddish, but a little zany. Maybe it's interesting. I don't know. You just don't know with this stuff, right?